So my voice is audible?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Good morning, one and all present here. Respected dignitaries, Dr. T. Somashekar, Chairman, Indian Academy Group of Institutions, Dr. Srinidhi Parthasarathy, COO, Indian Academy Group of Institution, Dr. E. Jerome Xavier, Principal, Indian Academy Degree College Autonomous, Resource Person, Mr. Shiva Subramanian, Managing Director, Lex Technoid International Private Limited, HOD of English Department, Professor Rita Ravi ma'am, my dear faculty members and all my dear students, a warm welcome. I deem a privilege to welcome you all on the virtual platform for the national webinar on expectation of industry for graduating students, fresh recruits. The objectives of the session is to prepare the young graduates to have an exposure on corporate and their selection process. Innovation and adaptability are no more looked upon as something new. They have become part and parcel of everyday life. Three different generations are working together with each having its own motivation, learning, and development needs. We are as good as yesterday. The boundaries are diminishing, and the world has become one big country. I request Dr. Lata to introduce the speaker.
Good morning, all. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. S. Siva Subramanian, the resource person of today's session on expectation of industry from graduating students, fresh recruits. Shiva Subramanian, sir, who is famously known as Shiva, is a mechanical engineer with PG diplomas in business management. He had worked for 13 years for a few multinational corporates before starting his own company, Lex Technoid, in 1994. The firm later became Lex Technoid International Private Limited, which he has been heading as the managing director. Lex Technoid manufactures machine tool accessories, industrial automation accessories, etc. They are also channel partners for German and Swedish firms. Sir has nearly 4 decades long experience, which includes his 26 years of entrepreneurial stint. He was trained by Batalus UK as ISO lead assessor and also is trained by several reputed training institutes on various aspects of leadership and management. He has traveled to many parts of the world, specifically to Europe several times, to build upon his knowledge and exposure to various aspects of business and management. Shiva sir is a self-made person who has overcome several odds in his life with conviction and determination. Sir is also a professional leadership and corporate trainer, a motivating transformational coach, and a passionate counselor. He believes that leadership is sustained only by continuous and relentless self-motivation. He is highly passionate about training people to help them identify their strengths and attain their full potential. He holds a master's diploma in training, a diploma in counseling, and another diploma in coaching. He has himself taken a long, rigorous trainings to become a certified trainer. Sir has also skillfully trained several people that includes past and present employees from Bosch, Siemens, Vidya, Accenture, ISG, L&T, Wipro, HCL, AIG, to name a few. He is also one among the visiting faculty at Indian Machine Tool Manufacturers Association, that is IMTMA. On behalf of the management, I feel honored to have Sir accepted our invitation to address our young minds on the topic, which will help them equip with the skills required beforehand. Thank you, sir. I personally welcome you to the session. Over to you, Nag.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Sir Mr. Shivasubramaniam, Managing Director, Lex Technoid International Private Limited, to give your valuable insights on expectation of industry for graduating students, fresh recruits. Over to you, sir.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Lata. Thank you, Madam Naganandini.
Thank you, sir.
The topic, what industry looks for from fresh recruits. The term industry, in fact, includes not only the manufacturing industry where I come from, it also includes firms like CS firm, lawyers firm, finance firm, software companies, etc. So the scope of our session today would not be restricted to only manufacturing companies where I come from. This is something very important that I wanted to share with you. Secondly, the term college world to corporate world also is very closely connected to how the fresh recruits are able to get into the industry and perform. Since this terminology is widely spoken, you would have all heard it sometime in your life. I just thought I would include this also as a part of my heading today. You are all well informed. No one likes to be told what to do and what not. The best teachers are those that show you where to look, but actually don't tell you what to see. So I have just come here to share my experiences, and the freedom to choose is yours. With that disclaimer, let us start. See, about me, it's already explained, so I would better skip this slide. My contact number and email ID are available on the screen. At the end, once again, I can display in case if somebody wanted. But I would like to take this opportunity. Good morning to all of you. Once again, I'm Siva. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all, the patron, the principal, the organizing committee, the HOD of English department, Dr. Geeta, Dr. Lata in particular, who had taken a lot of interest in getting this program organized. I'll be very happy if I can share some value to all you participants, because I always would like to give back something to the society which has made me what I am today from literally nothing in my life. This is our company by name Lex Technoid. We are located at Bangalore and our website is at the bottom. Who is interested, you can kindly make a note, or I can show it at the end of the session for you to know more about our company. Our company also are channel partners for some of the European companies. One company is Delbag by name, the other one is Upsilent. Delbag is from Germany, Upsilent is from Sweden. And we work with these companies for proposing mist extracting solutions to the industry. This is one of the equipments in the photograph. What you see is one of the equipment that we manufacture. We manufacture different types of coolant filtration system, chillers, etc. Basically, these are machine tool accessories. Machine tools are equipments that are used for machining automobile components, aerospace components, etc. We serve that domain by producing these kind of accessories. We also propose mist and dust extraction solutions using these world-class products from these European companies. Thus, we help industrial workshops achieve good quality breathable air inside their workshop and outside as well. It's very exciting to be in front of you. Most of you are youngsters. It is always energetic to be among the youngsters group. If you can unmute and tell me, some of you, as to what makes an executive effective in his work. Can some of you unmute and tell me?
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
Students won't be able to unmute themselves, sir. We need to
Okay.
allow them.
Okay. Right. Okay. Right. So we will keep the question answer session at the end, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right.
Actually, they can chat in the chat box, sir. Students
Right.
can ask the question.
Okay. So I'll go through the chats as much as possible during the course of the session. Okay. So an effective executive is a person who's able to produce results, the results that are expected by the company, the way the company expects him to produce. Imagine that you are the owner of a company. You would always need a resourceful person, an experienced person who's able to do the job faster, very accurately. But if everybody needs an experienced person, where does that experienced person come from? So industry needs fresh people also, but industry also need the people to be climbing up the ladder very fast. There is a gap between the curriculum and what is expected at the industry. This is the gap which your college is addressing to fill using this program. So let's all be thankful to them. This program, if it is useful to you, it is your college which needs to be thanked. Is my slide visible, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What makes an effective executive? An effective executive is somebody who's able to do important things that the others tend to overlook. He becomes more executive, he or she becomes more executive, more effective than the other executives. An effective person always avoids what is unproductive. We learn a lot of intelligence, we have a lot of imagination, we have a lot of knowledge after our studies, but all these could get wasted if we do not acquire habits which are good. These acquired habits of mind are the ones that are important to mold and get the results out of this intelligence, imagination, knowledge, etc. What decides our future actually? Our future is not decided. People don't decide actually their future. It is their attitude and habits that decide. So our future is just not decided by us straight away with our education, qualification, experience, intelligence, etc. Our attitudes and habits actually decide. Even a very intelligent person may not succeed, even an average person may succeed. All it depends upon having positive attitudes and good habits. There are certain essential practices that are needed for one to be an effective person in business. When I say business, even when we get employed, it is still a business because we actually get employed with a firm or a company where actually some work is going on, which is generally called as business. So if business has to become effective, the people who work there should become effective, and industry expects even the new ones who join to become effective as quickly as possible. Ultimately, when these newly recruited people move faster on the ladder, they become better than others. The one who are able to manage to move very fast on the ladder, they are the ones who are able to succeed better than others. I would like to suggest that if you are able to go through this book sometime, the name of the book is Effective Executive. It is written by a very famous author called Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker is an Austrian born in America. He is a big management consultant, educator, author, etc. This is a very effective book. I managed to take few points for the benefit of this session today. Drucker identifies actually 5 essential practices for you to become effective in your job or business. Managing time, all of us know, is a very essential thing. I don't have to dwell upon much on this. Choosing what to contribute to the organization is the most next important thing. Unless you know what to contribute, you will not be able to succeed yourself. You will not be able to make your organization also successful. The third thing rather, is for you to know the organization well in general so that you are able to mobilize the strength and create the best effect by knowing where to get the strengths from. And that is what helps you do the job. Nobody can do anything alone independently. When you work for an organization or when you have your own business, people are very, very important. Unless you have the idea as to how to mobilize the strength, getting successful becomes very, very difficult. Prioritizing things is the next most important thing. See, if you are not able to prioritize, you will not be able to manage your time. If there are several activities that belong to a particular task, and one activity takes 13 days, and if your task has to be finished in 15 days, probably that is the first task that you need to handle. Also, there could be certain tasks which are serial in nature. When I say serial, the precondition would be that you finish the first task first and then take up the next. The second task cannot be taken unless the first one is completed, could be a situation. So, you are required to prioritize things and then start your activities. Knitting all these aspects together makes the executive very effective in his job. Peter Drucker says leadership is defined by results. Of course, you need to be a courteous team player. It's very important. Results cannot come without you being a team player. But the parameter for measurement of effectiveness leadership is the results. Let us just look at this small video. Where the parents play basketball. Is the music audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's audible.
Please observe the video carefully. So what did we observe from this video? The video is all about teamwork. You saw green color parrots, you saw yellow color parrots, and they were perfectly playing the teamwork. When one green color parrot was picking the ball up, the others were not simply standing and watching, they were running behind the one that was carrying the ball, just to ensure that in case if the ball was to be dropped, the other two would come for the rescue. So same thing happened with the yellow color parrots also. So this was an absolute teamwork at display. The second thing that we learn is about resource constraints, which is what would happen in your working environment also. How many balls were available? There was only one ball available. So that one ball was to be picked quickly and then basketed before the other team could do. Similarly, the resources available in your organization could be limited. The size of the basket, the size of the ball, all these also are resources, and in a way we would still call them as constrained resources, in the sense that if the size of the basket were to be bigger, basketing would have become easier. So similarly, you may have less number of machines, less number of equipments, less number of employees, less number of computers in your organization, but these resources always get limited due to investment constraints, and they have to be best made use of is what the organization expects from you. The third observation could be that even the birds, animals excel from their practice, so human beings can always do. The fourth one could be the boundaries and rules of the game. Any game is played within the boundaries. Any game has to be played within certain particular rules. Similarly, wherever you are working, there are certain boundaries, there are certain rules and regulations in the organization. All of us work within those boundaries. The positive attitude is very important. If you saw those, you would have observed that the green birds did more of basketing than the yellow one, but the yellow ones were not waiting. They were always running after the ball. The attitude was very, very positive. Even if animals could get into that situation, human beings can always become like that. A referee is always a part of the game. Similarly, in your organization, you always have a referee, your team leader, your boss, your company's owner, your investors, shareholders. These are all referees in some form or the other. So these people decide whether you are performing well or not based on how well you are able to do your particular task that suits the requirement of the company. So there is always a referee or arbitrator there in the job also in the form of your team leader, etc. Competition among players is what you saw in the video. So competition among the co-employees, co-workers, the colleagues, which is always prevalent in the job environment also. The purpose of playing this video was to simply make everyone understand as to what are all the situations can be there in an industry where most of you would be joining soon. It is very important that you have confidence. But where does this confidence come from? Confidence does not come from knowing answers for all the questions. Confidence comes from your readiness to face all the questions in life. Confidence comes from your willingness to move out of comfort zone and be willing to face and take challenges in life and in your working environment. What makes one better at work? The team spirit, as we all see, innovation. Innovation is doing a thing which is slightly better than others. So you become innovative because you are able to do a thing better than others, maybe in terms of time, maybe in terms of quality of work, maybe in terms of effectiveness. Respecting one's own words. What does it mean? In any working environment, there are certain commitments which are very, very important, which are always prevalent. Without commitment, work doesn't move. Commitment could be in terms of the size, it could be in terms of time. There are situations where you may not be able to maintain your commitment. It is better that you go back to the person concerned, tell him or her in advance, saying that you are not able to meet this, and you fix an alternate target for yourself and work towards that without allowing the other person to come and ask you. If that happens, you are respecting your own words. If you don't respect your own words, nobody respects you. Time management is again another essential and very important thing. There is no achievement with respect to a time frame given. If you take a very long amount of time than what is normally allowed, you are not called as an achiever, even if you would have achieved your end goal. Clarity while taking instructions is very, very important. If you do not know what you are expected to do, you end up doing something which is not required by your firm or organization. So clarity is very important. Internal customer concept is another very, very important thing. The person who gives you job, be it your team leader, be it your group leader, you will have to treat him as a customer, as though you are running your own business. He gives you job and you are doing. He gives you order and you are executing. If this spirit is there at every step in an organization with the internal customer concept, then everybody's performance improves because of the seriousness that is attached to the individual's performance. So the company as a whole performs well. Helping others is a very, very important thing because in teamwork, helping others is essential as you do not work in isolation. You work in a team, so helping others becomes a very crucial thing because you also would be needing help from others at some point, as we discussed earlier, when you have to mobilize resources without interacting with members of your team or even members from the other team, it is not possible for you to finish your job. So helping others is very, very important. It has to become mutual. The most important thing, which is the last point in this slide, is taking responsibilities as though it is your own firm. When you treat your company where you are working as your own firm and take each and every responsibility, you try to put your best. And when you try to put your best, you automatically become a better performer as compared to many others. Last but not the least is about efficiency and effectiveness. Effectiveness and efficiency are always kind of misunderstood. Effectiveness is about doing the right thing, whereas efficiency is about doing the thing in the right way. Even a thief can be very efficient, but effectiveness is about doing the right thing. So when actually efficiency and effectiveness, they kind of complement each other. When you have both, that is when you are able to perform better than others. That is when you are able to accomplish your task better than others. Finally, it's about the big picture. This may not be visible in your appointment letter sometimes, but taking care of safety precautions, following high ethical standards, caring about environment, caring about your own health and the health of co-workers and employees, they are all very important. When I talk about health, maybe the effluent from your company, maybe when you handle hazardous substances in your company, you need to be very, very careful in terms of safety. When you are talking about environment, right from using, let's say, paper, electricity, if we are able to be as efficient as possible, you will be supporting your environment very well. Simon Sinek is a very famous author again. So he says a team is not only a set of people who work together, it's about people who trust each other. If you see this picture, the person at the left has fully trusted the person at the right. So this is how a team works. Without trust, there is no performance of the team at all. So trusting becomes a very, very important factor when you work in a team, as a part of a team. All of us watch games, all of us watch cricket, all of us watch car race, and we prefer to watch batsmen who are very famous, who are very efficient in their batting, who have always scored well in the past. Why do we do that? A batsman stands against all odds and still performs fours and sixes. The bowler is waiting to get him out. There are fielders who are waiting to get him out. Still, he performs against all these challenges. Similarly, in an industry, you would be facing several of these kind of challenges. The one who is able to face these challenges, take them sportively, and who comes out successfully is the person who grows faster than others. The same thing is true with a car race as well. You have a difficult terrain, you have people who are overtaking you from left, right, and center. Still, you need to be performing and coming as the first person in the race. Then, this is the kind of car race person whom you want to watch. So, if this is what you are watching, you are also supposed to perform the same way if you have to become better than others. This slide is about employee versus the entrepreneur. Some of you may like to become an entrepreneur. See, if you contrast this situation, for an employee, work is something generally that you would like to get away, though it's not true, always efficient ones do not do that, and that is what we are discussing about. But in general, this is what is a scenario, whereas if you are an entrepreneur, work is something that you need to be excited about doing. Then comes the serious effort. Serious effort is something to do for a short period of time, generally for employees, like I said, not for all. Whereas if you're an entrepreneur, serious effort is something that you need to do all the time. When you need support, the firm gives you support when you're an employee. But in the case of an entrepreneur, support is something that you're always creating and giving. And when it comes to income, employees look for income, whereas the entrepreneurs will be waiting sometimes for years together till his business breaks even to find some income for him. So income comes later. It is establishing your company that comes first if you are an entrepreneur. If for people who are willing to go for a job, I would not say job is better or entrepreneurship is better. It depends on your choice. Like I said in the beginning, what you choose is up to you. And if you have chosen one, it is not that it is not possible for you to choose the other one. So when we talk about a job, how do we get into a good job? How do we ensure that we perform well in the job? The first step is about giving a very impressive CV. Today's technology world expects that you give a very impressive CV on a video which runs for about 4 or 5 minutes. When I say impressive, it should be factual and impressive, which is very important, because if the CV does not contain the facts, you are definitely liable to be getting stuck. During your employment, you will be asked all sorts of odd questions and you will have to face very tricky situations later. So it's very important that we make a factual but effective video about us when we seek an employment. The second most important thing is about choosing an employment which is related to your passion. If your employment is not connected to your passion, all through the day, you will start looking at your watch and waiting for the time to get ended. That is what we saw in the previous video. Whereas if your job is connected to your passion, you will be giving your 100% self. You will be thoroughly getting involved in your job, and performance is only a byproduct then. Because if you put your best, there is no reason why performance will not be the best at all. Today's world is a knowledge world. Today's world is a digital world. Today's world needs you to do eco-friendly things. So if you are able to pick domains of your job in these lines, you are guaranteed of a very faster growth as compared to the other mundane jobs. And when you are in a job, you are expected to be self-driven. You are expected to be updating yourself periodically, and that is what improves your performance continuously. Like relationship at home, employee-employer relationship also involves expectations. Your brother expects something from you, your sister expects something from you, your son or daughter or father or mother, they all expect something from you. We all expect something from others. So the employer also expects something from you. If these expectations are understood well at the beginning of you taking up a job, at the beginning of you taking up every assignment that we have discussed earlier, then the conflicts become less. Wherever relationships are there, conflicts tend to always happen. To keep these conflicts, number of occasions of these conflicts less or nil is the effectiveness. That happens by taking instructions very clearly from the beginning, understanding your job and job expectations very well at the beginning reduces the conflicts. Willingness to do interdisciplinary work or multitasking is the need of the hour today. No company wants to employ a person, let's say an accounts person, who do only accounts and who would not even say invite a customer when he comes into his firm or company. If he says this is not my job, this is HR's job, that person is not going to be liked in the company. If you are a production person, some amount of your overlapping with a procurement person, with a vendor, or with your quality control department, or with your marketing department is very, very essential. So people who are able to do multitasking, people who are able to overlap into the other departments and then create the continuity between the previous department and the next department, and people who are able to do multitasking are the people who are sought after today. A good amount of maturity, composure, smartness, these are all very important things in you executing your job. Only such people succeed faster as compared to others. The communication skills again are very essential, because the way you communicate with your co-employees, the way you communicate with your team members, the way you communicate with your team leader, group leader, boss, whoever a customer, whoever it is, that makes all the difference. If your communication is not clear, you are bound to create a lot of confusions for yourself, a lot of confusions for the company that you work for. Ultimately, your performance goes down. Team playing is a very essential thing which we have dwelled at large from the beginning several times. The next option for anybody could be self-employment if you do not wish to take a job. In self-employment, in fact, the criticalities are much more. All points discussed under a job are applicable in the self-employment situation as well. But apart from that, if we are able to convert a pain point of your society into a viable business, your business thrives. If I have to take an example of what is happening today, people who are manufacturing sanitizers, people who are producing masks, people who are in the medical industry, medical equipment industry, say producing, say, oxygen equipments or ventilators, these are people who are able to sustain better today, even under this painful situation during this COVID. So if you are able to understand the pain point of the society, and if you are able to support the society using your business, there is no reason why your business cannot thrive. So you need to be careful in choosing what you want to do. Customer relationship also involves expectations. Hence, as I said earlier, wherever expectations are there, conflicts are bound to happen. If you get into conflicts with your customer, which you need to try to avoid it at all costs, but if that happens, you need a very sincere and efficient approach, empathetic approach towards your customer, and you need to handle this very tactfully, because customers are very important for every business and they are the main purpose of your business. Aligning one's passion, like what I said earlier during your job, it is also true for employment. If your domain of your business has something to do with your passion, there is no reason why you will not be successful, because you will be putting all your best into your business. And the next point is about the customer, which I have told earlier, saying that customer is the reason, is the only reason for your existence. So adding value to customer and empathizing with the customer is very important. Otherwise, you cannot survive. If all these points are put together in your self-employment, there is no reason why you will not succeed. Nobody needs to go after money. Nobody needs to go after profit. Profit then becomes automatically a byproduct. What is permanent in our life? Change is the only permanent thing in our life. There is a lot of change. 8 months ago, did any of us expect that we would be in a situation that wherein we fear about other human beings, we don't go near other human beings, we don't go near our loved ones, we always keep a social distance. Why? There is a change in situation. So change is the only permanent thing in their life. So when the situation has changed, are we not adapting ourselves? So we become the agents of change. Similarly, in your employment, in your business, changes would take place. There are several companies who are producing, for example, photofilms. Today they are not existing, but some of those companies during the course of their existence have picked up related business using their business knowledge, and such of those companies have survived. The rest have vanished. You would have, all of you would be knowing an equipment called pager. Today it is not to be seen. There were several companies who were making, some of them graduated to become a mobile phone making companies. Some of them were making only pagers and they vanished. Same thing about your BlackBerry telephones. I can go on citing examples like this. So change keeps on happening. All of us should be agents of change to be able to thrive. When I say agents, we should be able to be adaptive to these changes and become successful in your life and make your customers profession or life successful, make your clients life successful, make your team members life successful, make your employer, investor, everybody's life successful. So for that you need to be very adaptive to the change. If you are not able to be adaptive to change, you tend to suffer in life, which is a very important lesson in life. I would like to take some quotes from Michael Jordan, who is a very famous American basketball player. He is not only a player, very famous player, he became an author also. He had written several books, but 43 of those books are sold in Goodreads in America. His ratings are above 10,000. Michael Jordan's very famous book is about Driven from Within. The topic of the book is Driven from Within. This he released in the year 2005. He talks here again about power of collaboration and teamwork, which we dwelled at large. In this book, he also makes it clear that his phenomenal success is due to his teachers, his mentors, his friends, about all these people who had guided him all through his life. So your teachers, your institution, they're all trying to do the same for you by sharing their knowledge, by arranging good programs for you. Like presently your English department, Dr. Geeta, Dr. Lata, they've all gone out of the way to arrange a kind of program of this nature for you to be able to take your life forward, move on your life forward. Don't they deserve a big thanks and applause? So I'm making a clapping from here. I expect all of you to do that because Thanksgiving is a very important thing in your life. Michael Jordan also says that limits are not to be set in your life. You should never say never. Limits are set by you, like fears, illusions, etc. You need to come out of these limits that you are setting for yourself. Some people in life wish something to happen, they wait. Some people want something to happen, a slightly better category, but they just do a little and then stop. The people who make these happen, these are the people who succeed. So you have to be part of the group that makes things happen, not only just wish or want. Ultimately, whatever is a kind of talent that you possess, that can win 1 or 2 games. But if you are intelligent, if you are a team person, then you win championships, which is much bigger. So this creates a situation that the entire team wins, not only you. That is why it is always said the word I is not there in the spelling of the word team. I is the least important thing in the term, in the word team. If you are able to perform well, to make your team perform well, then you are the most sought after person. If you do anything for your personal success, then you are not that much sought after at all. Jordan has failed several times and he feels that is the reason for his success. So do not fear about failures at all. I have always believed that if you put in the work, the results will come, is what he says. So if you put the best part of your work, then the results have got to come. And if you are able to turn a negative situation into a positive one, like the COVID example I suggested, there is no reason why you cannot succeed at all. The next very important book that I would suggest for you all is about 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. which is written by a famous American author, entrepreneur, etc. His name is Stephen Covey. The first habit that he talks about is you being proactive. What is being proactive? Your actions should be able to align with the result that you want to achieve. That is what is being proactive. Begin with the end in mind. If you want to achieve a particular thing, that is the end. So the way you begin should ensure that you are able to achieve the end, and which means every step that you follow in your action should be able to ensure that you are able to achieve the end result or the goal that is there in your mind. Putting first things first is very important, which is what is prioritizing. We discussed about it in detail earlier, which is the third important habit. Thinking win to win is the fourth habit. Win to win situation or win-win situation is what? If you are in a team and if you win all the time, your team members get disappointed. So you need to work in such a way that everybody in the team feels that he or she has won. And if you are in business, you must make a situation, we must create situation wherein your customer feels that he has won. If your customer does not feel that he has won, he is not going to come back to you. So it should not be only your win, you should make your customers win and you automatically win. So that is what is actually called win-win situation. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. If you are in a team, if you are in a business, it is very important that you know what your customer wants, what your team member wants, what your leader wants, what your company wants. So if you first seek to understand by being a patient listener, and then you put your points across, this is what is supposed to be a good habit. So that is what Stephen Covey calls it as habit number 5. Synergize. If you are working in a team, each team member has got a particular strength. If you are able to bring synergy amongst team members, that you are able to achieve the end in mind, which is habit 2, then that is what is called synergizing. If you are able to put every team member's action for achieving the end result, that is synergy. So this synergy is a very important habit. The last but not the least is sharpen the saw. What is meant by sharpening the saw? Each of us has got certain particular skills. But as I told you, change is a permanent thing in life. So your skills, your knowledge have to be kept on. You need to put every effort possible to keep on updating them. They have to be kept updated always. Otherwise, you will not be able to succeed in your life. You will get outdated very soon. So sharpening the saw is very important. That is what sharpening the saw means, updating yourself. If you have to put these habits together, the first 3 habits removes dependence of you on others. Being proactive, begin with the end in mind, and putting first things first. All these remove your dependency on others, so you attain a state of independence from the state of dependence. The remaining 3 habits, think win-win, seek first to understand, then to understand, and synergize, make you become an interdependent person. Why are you becoming an interdependent person? Individual performers or loners are able to perform only to a limited extent, however good they are. But if you are a team player, if you are able to build a big team, then your performance gets multiplied. 1 plus 1 becomes 3. 3 plus 3 becomes 10. So how is it possible? If you are by adapting all these effective habits, all these 6 habits, plus continuously sharpening the saw, which is the 7th habit, is the one that makes you create an interdependent team where each team person depends on the other and is able to perform well. The other book that I would suggest for all of you is about Good to Great, written by Jim Collins, who was also a forward writer for Stephen Covey's 7 Habits book. Okay, so Jim Collins says why some companies, he finds out and shows in this book why some companies make the leap when others are not able to do. And here he makes a very important statement saying that good is the enemy of great. Means what? The moment you get satisfied, the moment you feel you are good enough, that enough becomes the last word. Your growth does not progress anymore. The strongest factor for success is your self-esteem. So believe in yourself, believe that you can do, you will do it. You have to believe that you deserve the best and you will be able to perform. Life by a great thinker was once asked, "What is life?" He replied, "Life by itself has no meaning. You have to create meaning for your life." Means what? You need to take charge of your life and create a special meaning for your life. That brings success. You know all these people, I don't have to explain you by names. All these had only 24 hours each day, and all of us also have 24 hours each day. How did they become what they are? It is by creating very effective teams, playing team, having a very good team spirit, creating very good team by taking the best of the people possible into your team and creating big organization. That is why these people are best known today. They are known for their not only their individual performances, they are known for team performances. That is how their companies have become very big. So all of us will have to look beyond our limitations and try to become the team player. Rule your mind or it will rule you is the lesson that we have learned. If we are able to rule our mind well, if we are able to learn our lessons well, then success comes. However educated you are, ruling your mind is definitely important. Otherwise, we are never able to perform in life. Let your smile change the world. Don't allow the world to change your smile, would be the last word from my side during this session. I hope I had finished it reasonably well within time. Thank you all. And now I leave the session open for questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. It was a very interesting and useful session for our students. The session is open for discussion. I request students to post your questions in the chat box. So we have questions few here. So am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, sir. So this first question, what is the priority of the industry, good skill or qualification? They're asking which is the priority, sir, good skill or qualification?
Skill and qualification, you cannot kind of keep one and leave the other. Both are very essential. The skill is about doing a job in a particular way, but for you to acquire a skill you need practice, whereas job knowledge comes from your education. So I would not rate one as low, the other as a kind of a priority. Both are very, very essential for you to be able to perform well. Have I answered your question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So another question.
Yeah.
The youth now has a problem being stable in one job. They always want to switch jobs looking for better opportunity. How important it is to be stable and how is it going to benefit them?
See, being stable in a given job is about doing that particular job well to the best of the expectations from that job. The expectation is, as I told you, is very clearly is supposed to be taken well. It is also supposed to be given well, but it is supposed to be given well by the group leader, by the employer, whoever it is. Since it's not our domain today, we are talking about an employee's role. An employee is supposed to take his instructions very clearly, and then only he is able to take his job forward, and then only he is able to perform well, then only he becomes stable in his job. If you are talking about that kind of a stability, as maybe the permanency in job or permanency in a particular company, then you need to be a star performer. Performance comes first step by knowing clearly as to what you are supposed to do. Once that is known, then you use your knowledge, then you use your skill, then you use your mind, which we elaborated so far. In fact, in this session, we have elaborated about your mind quite in detail, because it is about the mind. mind is a very important thing. If you are, however well educated, if your mind is not good enough, your performance deteriorates. So please train your mind. Please train your emotions. Please train you being very clear about what you want to do by controlling your emotions. Then your performance is guaranteed.
Thank you, sir. So another question. How to develop good teamwork skills among employees, they ask, sir.
Yeah. Teamwork is very important. You would have watched the parrot video. How the parrots created the team. When one parrot was picking up the ball, when one green one was picking, the other ones were not disturbing it, but they were actually following or supporting. In case the ball were to be dropped, the other two green ones would have supported, whereas the yellow ones were trying to pull the ball. So there is competition, but within the given team, you more than the competition, ensuring that every member in your team succeeds is what is very important. If you treat your own team member as your competitor, then there is no team spirit. Then that is why we discussed saying that a team is not about people coming together. The word team is about people trusting each other. So if you have to develop that trust, you should be mutually helpful to each other. Then the team spirit comes. Then the team performs. As I told you, when there is a good team, 1 + 1 becomes 3 or even more. 1 + 1 is never 2. But if the team is not good, the collective performance can become poorer than the individual performance. Means 1 + 1 can become even half or 0.2 or 0.3. This is what is very important. So building the team is about supporting each other, keeping the end in mind, keeping the goal in mind, and being proactive and creating synergy to achieve the goal. Hope I have answered the question. If you have anything specific, you can please ask me.
Yes, sir. So they ask, can you share some of the basic challenges a person goes through in any job as a fresher?
See, there is a gap between the academy, the curriculum, and the industry. Let us accept it. Especially, unfortunately, in our country, I would say the gap is even bigger as compared to advanced countries like US or Europe or Australia, whichever is the country. So, when a person goes and joins a company as a fresher, he moves from his college life to corporate life, as we discussed earlier during the slides. The expectation industry keeps is not different. Industry does not keep a different expectation for a fresher. It does not keep a different expectation for an experienced person actually. So by industry always needs the best from everybody. But a fresher cannot become like an experienced person on day one. But the challenge is how soon he climbs the ladder and becomes the best performer is a question mark. So this is a challenge. There are people, you are all not the same. We are all not the same. There are some, if two of us are taken for the same job, one is able to climb the ladder faster, one is able to acquire the skills, one is able to acquire the knowledge of the job much more quickly or much faster as compared to the rest, and that person goes faster. The others lag. So this is a challenge. So this is precisely why we went through so many slides to understand how not to be left behind. So it's all about your knowledge, skill, and also your mind. All these three are important. And if you put them together, you are able to overcome this challenge faster. Otherwise, you lag behind. And you need to continuously upgrade yourself also, which is very important, which is a 7th habit of Stephen Covey, sharpening the saw.
Okay, sir. So, next question, sir.
Yeah.
The corporate culture is getting materialistic and the emotional accept is totally absent in today's workplace. So, they're asking how to overcome this problem.
If you see all the successful companies, if you have to take Indian examples like the Tata Group, the Infosys, and the companies like the Wipros, see, these companies have succeeded not because they had the best of the candidates with them. They were able to build the best of the teams. How was the best team built in each of these companies? It is by having empathy with the employees. Do not expect sympathy. If you are not able to perform, nobody would sympathize with you. But good companies always empathize with you. If you need help, please go and ask. If you need clarity in instruction, please go ask again and again. If such things are done, then there is a good amount of clarity. You can use your knowledge, your skill, and the experience that you have gained so far in case if you have worked for a company for a particular span of time. Otherwise, do not shy away from saying, I do not know. Try to know what is expected out of you. Try to learn how to do the job. Then the company is always there for you. Good companies are always there for you. I'm not saying all companies are good, but if you find after doing all this, a company is not able to empathize with you, then possibly you need to count your days there. But they are very few because they vanish on their own. These companies who are not good at empathizing with their employees, they automatically vanish. They vanish on their own because they are unable to build up good teams. Good teams are not built by hiring and firing. Good teams are built by taking people into confidence and building very good teams. So the companies that build good teams always thrive. So please look for those companies from your side, but from it is also important that you are clear. You do not wait only for the company to keep on handholding you every time. You need to be clear about your goal. You need to be clear about what you want to achieve. You need to be clear about asking the right questions. Then your performance comes. Otherwise, it does not. Have I answered the question, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So another question. What would be your expectation from a fresher who would like to work in your firm?
Yeah. See, a fresher, like I said earlier, always companies expect the fresher also to perform like an experienced person, but it is not possible. If every company wants an experienced person, then what will the freshers do? Or from where will the companies get these experienced people? So the employers or the company, the seniors like us should always realize a fresher takes some time. But like I said earlier, it is only empathy that is given in the work environment. Nobody sympathizes with you for a bad performance. Nobody sympathizes with you for bad job knowledge because there are certain expectations from you in terms of your knowledge, which part of it you acquire through education, part of which you acquire through your practice. So there is a particular amount of knowledge that is expected out of you. And like I said, there are broader perspectives also to a job. If you are prone to work in a very unsafe way, you are not welcome. So safety is a very, very important aspect. You are supposed to adhere to all safety standards when you are at work. Similarly, if you are a person prone to wasting things, like, right from, let it be a piece of paper, let it be electricity, let it be a machine running idle, these are not things that are not welcome at all in the industry. So if you need to stick on to a particular job and make career out of it, this is what is expected out of you. Not knowing things is not a crime at all, but confessing that I don't know and I need help at the right time and doing the job in the right direction and taking the job in the right direction is what is important. Assuming making bigger mistakes, blunders, and later on struggling to correct them, putting yourself into problem, putting your firm also into problem is something which needs to be very carefully avoided. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, sir. So now the last question. The corporate culture is giving rise to a lot of mental stress and hampering the emotional well-being of an individual. What do you have to say about this, sir?
See, as I said, wherever expectations are there, conflicts are bound to happen. The employer or your team leader or your so-called boss in the terminology always has some expectations. So you as an employee also have certain expectations. So these expectations, how to make them match? The first step, first and foremost step is about job clarity. Whenever you take a particular assignment, be very clear as to what is expected out of you. Invariably, if you take it in writing, in cases where it is not given in writing, at least better make a mail and send it to the person who had given you this instruction in such a way that he is clear about what you are going to do and you are clear about what you are going to do. This is the first step. Now, when you have put things in writing, if there is a mismatch between the expectations and the way you have understood, during the first step itself, this gets clear. If this is rediscussed till such time, what is expected out of you as an employee is made very, very clear and it is in writing. So later on, there is no room for any misunderstanding or conflict to come. During the course of you doing the job, if you assume that I should not take help, I should not tell that yes, I need help because people will kind of think that I am not capable, then you are making a serious mistake. Not everybody would be capable of doing everything. What the industry expects out of you is to go back at the right time and take help instead of waiting and wasting time or assuming things and end up doing things in a wrong way. And these are the two important things that create problems in the relationship between the employer and the employee. And employee being an individual, employer being in general a group leader or a big company, it is the employee who suffers. It is the employee who goes through the health hazard. Many a times it is one's own making. If the company has made the mistake of giving wrong instruction and that has become your problem, I have always told you right in the beginning saying that whenever you take instructions, even if they are oral verbal instruction, please put them in writing, send a mail. Be clear about what you are going to do. Please have a confirmation multiple times during the course of your doing the task, saying that is it what you want? Is this what you wanted? Am I in the right direction? This is what is the end that I'm going, like what Stephen Covey said, keep the end in mind. Write the end very clearly. This is the purpose of the journey. This is the mission. This is the role. This is the goal. If these things are written down very, very clearly and kept on discussed and rediscussed during reviews, then there are very little possibilities of an individual suffering. So you need to create situations for review. If we are an employee, you must always request for review meetings. During these review meetings, you should put across things very clearly, saying that this is how far you have progressed and this is how far is left and these are the preparations that you are going to do, so that you don't give surprises to your group leader or employer. If you wait till the end of the game, till the end of the assignment, whatever is the time span that is given to you, go back and say that I could not do or I have done only 20%, 30% or 80%, then it creates a big irritation, it creates a big disappointment. If you are a self-employed person, you create a big disappointment to your customer. So during the progress, at each step periodically, if you are able to review the progress and make all the stakeholders, be it your customer, be it your team member, be it your group leader, be it your boss or the company, or in the case of directors, the investors or the stakeholders, if everybody is brought on the same page, then the conflicts come down, then the health hazards come down. Otherwise, they continue to be as what they are today. I would say personally that most of these health issues happen because of mismatch in understanding. That is the primary reason. If companies by themselves are bad, if they don't give proper instruction and still expect the employees to do, that could be in exceptional cases. Maybe that is time for you to choose a better opportunity, leave the company and join another company. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, thank you so much, sir, for answering all the questions.
Thank you. I thank the college, the principal, the organizing committee, Dr. Geeta, and especially Dr. Lata, who took all the efforts. She went out of the way to pick up this session for the benefit of the students of the college. I take this opportunity to once again thank. I hope this session was useful. I could not interact. I could not talk to any of the students. That was a bit difficult for me to put up with. But then, unfortunately, during COVID times, I guess things go this way. But I hope I was able to add some value to every participant, and looking forward to more such interactions with your college and with the industry and the educational institutions at large. I hope these points are well taken. As I told in the beginning, there is no compulsion. This is just sharing of my experience. You are all intelligent people. Today's generation is very, very competent. So it's for you to understand and take what is essential for you to be successful in life. Wish you all the very, very best from my side. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So you strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. I hope this talk would add value to your learning. I take this opportunity to thank the management, Dr. T. Somashekhar, Chairman, Indian Academy Group of Institution, Dr. Srinidhi Parthasarathi, COO, Indian Academy Group of Institution, for their continuous support for all our endeavors. I thank Dr. E. Jerome Xavier, Principal, Indian Academy Degree College, Autonomous. Especially thank Mr. Shiva Subramaniam Sir, Managing Director, Lex Technoid International Private Limited, for delivering a valuable lecture for our students to face the corporate world. I thank HOD of English Department, Professor Geeta Ravi ma'am, and faculty members and my dear students for your active participation. Hope this will be very useful for you all to prepare yourself for in the upcoming career opportunities. My special thanks to Mr. Chandan Rao, the technical manager, to have helped in organizing this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you all once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Can I leave?
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank you so
thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.